Did the late prophet John Paul Jackson interpret a dream that points to a Donald Trump presidency? That's next on Mindshift. Hi, I'm Luke Haminali, and this is a special edition of Mindshift. Actually, it's an exclusive, for we have uncovered a videotape of the late prophet John Paul Jackson. He was giving a dream interpretation in 2012. And only when you look at it now does it look like he is actually talking about Donald J. Trump in the White House. Watch.
This is a dream from one of our producers, Pam. She said, it was me, Jen James, who's the producer for Marcus and Joni, and some other people that I don't recall. We were in a room watching a flat screen TV during Refreshing Times conference, waiting for one of the roll-ins to start playing. The screen starts to malfunction, and then all of a sudden a feed comes up, and it's the White House. You could see the Washington Mall, some other monuments, cars in a parking lot. The feed was wavy, not very strong, but it was in color. So we're looking at each other like, what? What is going on? And immediately in my head, I'm thinking, okay, here we go. It's happening. It's starting. It's the last of the last days.
Stop the tape. Let's have a little time frame here. They're talking about a time of things going on in the White House where people are thinking this is the end of the end days. Now, how many ministries have been suggesting that Obama is the Antichrist and he will usher in the last days? Now, you've heard it. I know you have. Now that we have a time frame, let's continue on with the tape.
It's happening. It's starting. It's the last of the last days. Antichrist, one world government, etc. Then all of a sudden, this big bulldozer bulldozes through the parking lot of cars and right through the White House, just like it was a deck of cards.
Wait, what did she say? Let's roll back that tape.
Then all of a sudden, this big bulldozer bulldozes through the parking lot of cars and right through the White House, just like it was a deck of cards.
Now, who could be a bulldozer? Other prophetic voices also used similar words to describe Trump. Lance Wallnau says that he is a wrecking ball to the spirit of political correctness. Mario Murillo says that Trump is already crushing a corrupt political system. Jeremiah Johnson and Kim Clement both say he is a trumpet, with Johnson adding that he will expose darkness and perversion in America like never before. Now back to the tape.
Then all of a sudden, this big bulldozer bulldozes through the parking lot of cars and right through the White House, just like it was a deck of cards. So we start praying in the Spirit immediately. And she woke up.
Wow.
So that was the question. Now, before we go back into his response, let me just assure you that John Paul Jackson was an authentic prophet to the nation. I met him in 2012 and I asked him specifically about the upcoming 2012 presidential election, who was going to win. And he looked me straight in the eye and he said that Obama was going to win a second term. And I thought that was preposterous. And I said, how come? And he said, because the Democrats have so skewed the electoral process, they've so corrupted it, that he was going to win illegitimately. He did. Now, let's go back to his response.
Wow. Well, that dream, that particular dream is obviously a dream about the last days, so it tends to be more on the vision side of things, even though there's symbolism in it. The great thing is this, the bulldozer. Now, you may not think the bulldozer is a great thing. The great thing is the bulldozer, because you're seeing man's plans, and you're seeing God saying, but I have a plan that will bulldoze right through the plans of men.
Yay.
There is, and it's the fact that it wasn't really clear, it was kind of fuzzy, indicates that none of this is for sure. That there's plans of men that change because people react certain ways, people pray and so on. But God says, in essence, pray that my bulldozer comes in and goes right through the middle of this mess, and everything gets leveled out. It's like I will take down the plans of men, and I'm going to raise up my plans. But I have to take down the plans of men first. So very important dream, especially a dream to pray about.
Now there's more to this word that I want to share with you, but before we do, I want to ask you a question. Is this talking about Donald Trump? If so, or if not, let me hear from you. Write the comments down below this video. Now, I want to bring to your attention the fact that John Paul says that we need to be praying for this nation like never before. You see, Satan desires to destroy the nation. He desires to bring it down before God could move powerfully, which he is expected to do in this nation like never before. He is expected to bring a revival and awakening such that we've never seen. Satan would like to thwart God's plans, and we have a responsibility to pray against these things that are coming to pass. Hey, let me interrupt myself by answering a question you might be having. You might think, oh, well, we can't pray against certain things that are coming to pass. Well, let me just assure you that we are not yet in Daniel's last 7 years that Jesus Christ spoke about in the Olivet prophecy. I have more details about that in this video that you might want to check on later. But for now, we are before that time, and we can declare a thing and see it come to pass. Now, back to Lou. Jonah is the example that I want to share with you. At the time, God decreed judgment upon Nineveh. And Jonah was more or less sitting on his hands. He wanted destruction to come upon Nineveh. But God had to reprimand him and say, Jonah, don't you realize that my heart is to save people, not to destroy them? You need to be aligning yourself with my principles, with my desire. I want to save, not destroy. In the same way, you and I need to align ourselves with God's will in preserving this nation and not destroying it. Because God has a plan. Listen to what John Paul says now.
Any significance to being the fact that we're watching Refreshing Times Conference?
Yes, thank you. The Refreshing Times Conference, basically the reason why you saw it in the setting was in a Refreshing Times Conference is that God's reminding you, I have a plan. That is, the bulldozer says, I'm going to bulldoze through this, and Refreshing Times will come, but there's certain things that have to be taken down and other things that are going to be built up. And so the Refreshing Times says it's not the conference, it's the title of the conference that says, I want to refresh America, but it's going to take some bulldozing in order for that to happen.
So there you have it. There is hope for America, and I hope that you'll join with me in prayer for this nation. Satan desires to destroy it. Satan desires to bring martial law upon this nation. I know I put together a video about that a couple of years ago. But just because Satan desires this doesn't mean that we need to be standing still and doing nothing. No, rather we should be saying, not on our watch. That's not going to happen. So join with me and pray earnestly for this nation like never before, so that God's will can prevail. And so thank you for watching this Mind Shift. Like, subscribe, share. We're going to see you next time on Mind Shift. If you enjoyed this, watch these other Mind Shift episodes. The one on the left is the one that we need to be praying against so that it does not happen. The one on the right gives us details about the Antichrist. And just so you know, it's not Obama. See you all next time on Mind Shift.